So Mary and Martha, they were the two sisters, and their brother was called Lazarus. He was the one who died, and you can imagine when they heard the news, they were absolutely devastated. You can imagine them crying their eyes out, using the Kleenex tissues to wipe away the tears, because their hearts were just hurting. They were breaking for the loss of their brother. And death is so cruel, isn't it? It's something that we experience today. It's not something that maybe we like to talk about, but we hear about it on the news. People dying in war, people dying from illness, people dying from old age, and even sadly, people dying at a very young age. And we all have a death day, don't we? You do, I do, a day in the future when we will die. And maybe in the last year you knew someone who you loved, you were so close to, and they've passed away, and you're still hurting from it. And I'm really sorry if that is you. Just like Mary and Martha, you're still hurting. But the thing is, though, this is not the end of the story for you, because Mary and Martha, they met someone who gave them the best news ever. He said, "I am the resurrection and the life." The person who Mary and Martha met was claiming that he had the power to raise the dead and to give eternal life to anyone. His name was Jesus. He said, "The person who believes in me, even though he dies, yet he will live." And what Jesus was saying was that any person who believes in me, look, though it is certain that they're going to die in the future, their physical death will not be the end. So if you imagine a graveyard in Coventry where you're going to be buried one day, all the gravestones are there, precious loved ones are buried there, and your grave is going to be there in the future. It's going to have your name written on it. Well, in the future, all the dead bodies in that graveyard, by the power of Jesus, will be pulled out from the soil. Those who did not believe in Jesus will face eternal judgment forever for the things that they have done. But those who did believe in Jesus while they lived on this planet, whether they're living in Coventry, in London, or in Paris, or in Cairo, they will be resurrected to experience eternal life with Jesus forever. And in this story, Mary and Martha, with the death of their brother, Jesus gives us a trailer. He gives us a preview of what that will look like. So Lazarus, he's been dead for 4 days, and Jesus goes to the tomb where he's been buried, and everyone's like, "Jesus, don't go there, it stinks, it smells, what are you doing?" But Jesus goes, and he cries out, "Lazarus, come out." And Lazarus comes out of the tomb. He's alive. But did you know that even today, 2,000 years later, you can taste something of this resurrection life? Jesus says something quite shocking. He says, "Everyone who has eternal life and believes in me shall never die." Now, Jesus does not mean that you will not die physically. People do die, don't they? We know that. But what Jesus is saying is if you believe in me, when you die, you will not be abandoned by God in darkness forever. But if you do believe in me, Jesus says, today you will receive eternal life. Today you will come into relationship with God and me, says Jesus. And when you die, when your death day comes, you will go to be with Jesus and with God in heaven. You see, Jesus is the one himself who on Good Friday died on the cross. He was dying there for the sins, for the wrong things which sinful people have done. But on Easter Sunday, Jesus smashed through the death barrier. Now, if you go down to the museum in Coventry Transport Museum, they've got a car which smashed through the sound barrier. If you were to get into that car, it would mean that you could also smash through the sound barrier. And in the same way, if you trust in Jesus, on your death day, you will smash through the death barrier. But it also means the day which Jesus returns in the future, which could be 1,000 years, it could be next week, it could be tomorrow, or it could even be in 10 minutes. If you have already died when that day comes in the future, and your body is buried somewhere, decomposing in a grave in Coventry, if you have trusted in Jesus, your body will be raised when Jesus returns, and you will be with him in the future in eternal life. Your soul and your body will be reunited. You will be with Jesus. This is the best news ever. Now let me ask you, are you ready for Jesus' second coming? He calls you today to believe in him, to believe that he is the Son of God, that he can give you eternal life. So turn to him this Easter. Receive the best news ever whilst there is still time.